Radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Boy, oh boy, do we have a great show for you today. Holy mackerel. We have got some meaty issues to share. We have stuff both known, pre-planned, and totally unplanned because you call us and we get the unplanned part. If you have some questions about money, you can call us, 855-935-TALK, throughout the show every Saturday from noon to 2 Pacific time on Northwest News Radio or on the internet. 855-935-TALK. I'm Don McDonald, along with Tom Cock, and a big boomy thunderstorm outside right now in Florida, which is kind of the norm. Florida.
We had big booms here last night, boom and boom and boom.
Oh,
while I
yeah,
was
we
going
had
to bed.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, we had that. We had a big one. Celebration has a fireworks display that, I mean, you can feel it in your bones because it's right. You're no more than 50, 60 feet from where these things are going off.
That'll do it.
It's a big show. But anyway, this is the big show about money. And today we are going to start off with something we had not expected to start off with. And we are only starting off with it because Don received
You're on the mailing list. You get the good stuff, man.
He received this 8-page color brochure.
Wow.
On an extraordinary retirement in an uncertain world. And this was sent to me by the lovely people at the Retirement Planning University.
Well, now, we should stop say there, it's not an accredited institution.
Oh, we were getting there.
Sorry.
Oh, no, we were getting
careful.
there. The Retirement Planning University, and they hold classes all over the country, it turns out, at actual universities. This Florida course is going to be taught at the University of Central Florida. There's one in Seattle that's being taught where?
University of Washington at the Bothell campus.
Yeah. So, you're thinking, well, Retirement Planning University, that sounds legit, doesn't it? Well, let's start at the very beginning, because it's a very good place to start, as they say. First off, right here in their tiny little print disclaimer, it says Retirement Planning University, registered trademark, is not an actual accredited university.
No.
So,
small print.
What are they?
Got it.
What are they? Well, first, let's start out with just that line. In some states, including Florida and maybe in the state of Washington, saying you are a university, even if you disclaim accreditation later, is actually a crime. In Florida, it is illegal to call yourself a university. As a matter of fact, let me give you the
while you're doing that, should I be dialing 911 then so they can get over there for the nighttime course?
Oh, yeah. Okay, here it is. Florida Statute 1005.03, subchapter 4. An entity shall not use the designation college or university in its name in Florida without approval by the commission unless the commission determines that its name is clearly and accurately descriptive of the services provided by that entity and is not one that may mislead the public.
You don't think of, and this is from their words, best of all, you'll learn potential strategies on how to position yourself to reach your financial goals and enjoy retirement. That
so it
doesn't
sounds like they're
them.
implying an education.
Yeah. You're gonna learn.
What's the game here? Well, we discovered you're not going to get a BA or even a BS, but what you are going to get
might
is
get some BS. Though,
BS, because this really is smarmy. This is This is set up by a company called. I got to pull back up their disclaimer thing. I pulled up their Strategic Wealth Investment Group.
But I want to point out that from there again online it says specific financial products will not be discussed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, will not.
Sure they won't.
Not.
Funny thing is that Strategic Wealth Investment Group, for a very large investment advisor, supposedly, they only manage about $1 billion among like 20 offices or something.
Yeah, that's not huge for that
well,
number.
and they fund Retirement Planning University, a nonprofit, to the tune of over $1 million a year, which is more than they make from their advisory clients.
You getting the picture here? Because apparently there's something else that pays them is what you're getting
They're
at. Yeah.
tightly affiliated. And as a matter of fact, this is where you learn stuff reading a Form ADV. They had to redo their Form ADV recently, And it looks like the Securities and Exchange Commission, I'm guessing, required them, because you wouldn't put this language in unless the SEC said you must put it in. They required a disclaimer unlike any I have ever seen. So stick around for that. 855.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
935-TALK is our phone number.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hi, Don McDonald here. So, what's your plan for retirement? No, really. What's the actual plan? Because hoping the market goes up, stockpiling random investments, and praying your gut instincts are smarter than Wall Street is not a plan. It's a guess. And when the market gets bumpy, and it always does, guessing leads to second guessing. And second guessing leads to panicking. That's why you need more than a portfolio. You need a purpose, a strategy, a real financial plan built just for you by a 100% fiduciary advisor who's legally obligated to act in your best interest. Imagine that. Start your plan today with a free, no-pressure meeting at talkingrealmoney.com or call 800-386-3004. That's talkingrealmoney.com, because your future deserves more than crossed fingers and wishful thinking. By the way, no sales pitch, no obligation, just smart help for real people who want to stop guessing and start planning. Appella is an SEC-registered investment advisor. See AppellaWealth.com or the firm's Form ADV for more details.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Welcome back to the podcast and radio show, all in one, that tries to make money a lot easier to deal with and exposes some of the real garbage out there that is designed to trick you into buying something that is likely bad for you, at least not good for you, by doing things that are technically even illegal. And we're talking today about the Retirement Planning University, which is an offshoot, sort of. It's a nonprofit offshoot of the Strategic Wealth Investment Group. And I'm going to get to them again in a minute. I did make a mistake, Tom, on the Form 990. Sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Their contributions in 2024 were $6.3 million.
Whoa. Really?
$6.3 million. But here's the fascinating part about all of this is, a charity is ranked, you kind of rank them based on how much they spend on their programming, on the educational part of they're an educational nonprofit. What percentage of their money do you think they spend on the class materials? Which are not great anyway, but what do you think?
Wow. 10%.
1.8.
Okay. So
the other $6.2 million is spent on advertising.
It doesn't go to their qualified financial professionals who will offer real life examples and financial
and I'm
strategies?
pretty sure, even though it doesn't have to be disclosed, I'd be willing to bet that the entire $6.4 million came from Strategic Wealth Advisory or Investment Group or their twin sibling, the Strategic Wealth Designers.
Wait, they're in the apparel business or something?
No, they design insurance plans, apparently.
I see.
Because here is, and I'm going to pull up their ADV Part 2, which, that's where advisors are required to fill these out and tell you all about their problems. Well, there's a
not their problems, but their
conflicts of interest, their business, their fees, and then any conflicts of interest. Well, apparently, Strategic Wealth Investment Group did not do a very good job of disclosing their potential problems, their
biggest conflict.
Yeah. So in their material changes of their latest ADV, it says item 10. Enhanced discussion surrounding the various types of conflict of interest that exist due to the sale of commission-based insurance products. And then they go on to say, a non-exhaustive, this is an interesting word when you think about it, a non-exhaustive list of these conflicts include the incentive to generate commissions, earn sales-related bonuses and awards. We encourage you to review item 10.
A non-exam. I mean, so we didn't take time to do much on this, but a little bit.
But we did some.
Yeah. Oh, we'll give you a little bit.
And so they go on to say, and they had to put, I've never seen this before, that they're in their possible, it's over a page long on their conflicts of interest. And it says you may work with a professional in both their capacity as an investment advisor as well as their capacity as an insurance agent through strategic wealth designers. Now, I did more checking and found out that Strategic Wealth Designers primarily sells indexed annuities.
Yeah. And, of course, that's where the real money comes from after doing these classes.
That's where all the money comes from.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, here's the thing. Let me just go through this list real quick, Tom, and then you can... Here are the universities with whom they work. And I think all of these universities, well, I'm not going to give you all of them. I'm going to give you some of the big ones. They should be embarrassed. They should stop this. Universities.
We did this a couple of years ago. Remember, we mentioned them, and they kept doing it.
Because they're getting paid.
Yeah.
They're making money. Ready? Baylor University, Colorado State.
Heard of it. Yeah.
Florida Southwestern, George Mason, Georgetown, Indiana University, Indiana Wesleyan, North Carolina State, Rice University, Rollins College in Florida, Southern Methodist University,
yep.
SMU. Man, my daughter's a Rollins graduate. Texas Christian, TCU, University of Central Florida, University of Colorado, University of Denver, University of North Texas, University of South Florida, University of Texas, University of Washington, Vanderbilt.
And what their universities are going to say is, we just rent them space. That's
right.
it. There's no affiliation.
Stop renting them space.
Because it gives them credibility.
And that's exactly what their intent is. Not a single one of their classes. Oh, God, you can't see air quotes on the radio, but every single one of their sales pitches.
Educational courses.
Whatever. Is done at a university or a college.
Yep. So it sounds legit. Walking in, learning.
Get this. Then they say at the very end of their thing, in addition to the class or classes.
Oh, I love this.
They also include a one-on-one strategy session.
Oh.
So you'll ask the principals about what you learned and how to implement something you learned in class. They compare it to, quote, office hours in college.
I saw that.
As you would have with your professor.
Go in with your professor to get find out how to do better. Yeah, I get it.
So what's the bottom line?
The bottom line
what is
okay.
the bottom line?
Well, first of all, should you be educated about retirement and Social Security and the things they mentioned here in investing? Yeah.
Are you going to get that by them?
No, not by them. That's the thing. And so getting sucked in, and it's a beautiful mailer. I went online to look at their website, which is not as nice, by the way, as the money they spent on that.
This is 8 pages. Glossy.
8 quality pages. So you got to do your homework. That's the reality of all these things. You have to do some homework, because when you went and looked into them, it is hard. When you went and looked into them and found a clear conflict of interest, the fact that probably most of the money that they make, very little of it comes as a registered investment advisor, where they have a fiduciary responsibility to their clients. Most of it comes from selling insurance products.
I figured out they make like $200,000 a year per office or something.
Yeah.
Total.
So
that to cover all their expenses. That there's no way.
And the rest of it comes from selling these insurance products. So, how else do you protect yourself other than doing the research?
I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. One of the tools I used to get this information, because it takes a long time to get it. I went and looked up the ADV part too, but finding 990s can take some time. Looking up state laws, and that can really take time. That can be very, very complicated. I have to tell you, on this one, I went to ChatGPT and I asked for citations and sources and the actual law. I wanted the actual content of the law. I asked for a copy of their Form 9 ADV, or their Form 990 from the IRS.
Yep.
Sent me a PDF copy of that so I could actually look at it. I asked for this stuff, and it did not take nearly as long as you might think, particularly when you can ask for a summary from ChatGPT. You could do this with some of the others too. I just happen to use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my researcher, but I check you got to make sure whenever you ask them anything, you ask for sources and you check the sources because they can make stuff up.
But going back to where we started here, there are very few people, that are actually doing, unless you're enrolled at that institution, that are actually doing financial education for financial education.
For just pure financial education, no.
Not many.
You might find it through some actual university programs, some adult education programs, but there again, most of those end up getting taught by somebody who's going to be selling something. So be very, very careful.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hello again, and welcome back to the program that is dedicated to helping you manage your money better. 855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255. It's free, it's easy, and it's all about money. That's what we want to help you manage it better. That's why we want to help you avoid these guys. If you get one of these mailers, throw it away.
I was going to say put it up in your garage so you remind yourself not to do these things, but okay.
No, just toss it. Toss them along with the steak dinners. Oh, I forgot to read the best part.
How much? No steak?
No steak. No, this is a school. They're
this is
serious.
You're learning here. Yeah,
this is learning. Yeah, now this class, by the way, in Florida is 2 nights, and it costs $39.
Yes.
$39.
I saw that, yeah. $39.
However, Tom, this is for you. This part of the thing is for you.
Okay.
It says, literally, no, this is for you.
They have a soccer team at this university?
No. It says you are a financial advisor.
Oh, you cannot attend.
We ask as a professional courtesy that you do not register for this course.
Yeah.
If you are a financial advisor and would like to attend as a training course, there is a $2,500 registration fee for your attendance.
That should tell you everything you want to know. By the way, anything we do online or in person and you're in the business, you come on in. We don't
Please.
hide.
On the show. You're in the business? Call on in.
I agree.
855-935-TALK. Let's go to Spokane, Washington. Your old stomping ground. Jack,
absolutely.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. My question is really about diversification. You know, I'm a simplified investor. You know, I got mostly VT and BND, but I'm concerned about concentration in the handful of big stocks. Am I really diversified if I'm in VT in the sense that most of my money is in Apple and Nvidia and Microsoft? You know, it's not really diversified. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I totally get what you're saying, because probably in VT, Don could probably look it up while we're chatting here, but my guess is you probably have 15, 16% in the 10 largest stocks in the world. It's probably somewhere in that area, because those big ones have just gotten bigger and they keep gobbling up more and more of the money. So, yeah, I think, and that's one of the problems in some ways with pure indexing, because you're just owning the index and those big companies make up more of your portfolio.
Try 20%.
That's why.
Try 20%.
Okay, that's close. Yeah. 21 out of $5, pretty concentrated. So I think you're right. And by the way, that's another reason that we try to tell people, you know, that's fine. And sometimes it is fine kind of while you're getting going. But maybe along the way, you add other asset classes that are very slightly represented in VT, or you go to one of the other type of products like an AVGE, which would be the Avantis product, which has a less concentration, or Dimensional's DFAW. Again, it's just not going to be as focused on large U.S. companies. But I think you have a legitimate concern to be that focused in so few companies.
Legitimate, but I wouldn't say abiding. I don't think this is a major concern, because remember, you have 10,000 equities in the Vanguard Total World Stock Index ETF. 10,000, which means 80% of that money is in those other 9,900 stocks or 9,800 stocks. So you got a lot of them. You just have lots and lots and lots of little pieces, but that's what they represent in terms of the overall markets too. So, but yeah, if you want to work a little harder and it's not a lot, then Tom's advice is dead on.
And by the way, if I was starting today, I would use one of the Avantis or Dimensional products because, again, it has more small, more value, just a little bit more diversified than being stuck in some of those huge U.S. firms that really have been the place of the drivers of the markets the last 10 plus years. That's the other challenge until this year, by the way, where it's all turned and international's done far better. So Don's right. There's no one right answer because we don't know for sure what the future is going to look like. I'm with you, Jack. I'd rather be more diversified and not have a concentration in the biggest.
I hope that helps.
Okay.
Jack,
well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being a part of the show.
Thanks very much.
We truly appreciate it. 855-935-TALK. That is our phone number, 855-935-8255. We'll be back really quickly, a couple minutes, with a whole lot more money talk.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. Central Texas Regional Mobility Authority is using Google AI to create smarter tolling systems and improve traffic flow for Texans. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American Innovation.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Hey, welcome back to Talking Real Money. Tom here, Don over there. And before we go back to, I'm glad you hung in there because I've been the one leaving so much here. So I got to take a little more responsibility.
And he will again.
I know. But I do want to make note that, that yesterday my mother-in-law, Pat, passed away. Pat was a lot of fun. Pat was very direct. She was also good at a compliment. She's one of the few people that ever came over to my house, would look around the yard and say, your yard is really nice, and I know you did it. That was very kind of her. But I want to mention her not just for those reasons, and I will definitely miss her, but also in her life, she had an off and on relationship working at the Postal Service. She never had a long job where she saved much, but she made one good financial decision.
Oh,
and
I bet I know what that one is.
You do, right?
LTC, right?
That's right. Yeah. She made, and it just shows you, she bought a long-term care policy a long time ago, the gold standard.
When you could afford them.
When you could afford it, it was a great purchase. But it shows you that you don't every day have to make great money. She just made the one, and it without it, life would have been horrible the last 15, maybe longer years. But with it, total difference. So, Pat, God bless you. We'll miss you, but it shows you that you don't have to wake up every day and make great decisions. Sometimes you make the one and it pays off. So
I don't get up every day and make great decisions. I never have.
I don't either.
Never will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
And
sad.
I don't wish you well, but I wish your wife well.
Yeah. Danielle has been a great supporter of hers these last few years. She had a lot of health things that she's had to deal with, and I will say this, my wife has been right by her side for all those things, so God bless her for that too.
All right, our phone number here on Talking Real Money to talk about your money and your great or not so great decisions is 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. And let's head over to Connecticut, where Mark is awaiting us. Hi, Mark. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Don. And Tom, welcome back, and condolences on your loss.
Thank you. On both.
Oh, okay. So yesterday, a new tax law was passed. I don't know if you guys saw.
Yes, the Act. Yes,
we don't pay attention to such things. Yes, of course we're
beautiful
aware of it.
Bill
Yes,
Act.
I know. I don't mean to be political, but
go ahead.
I just happened to be on the internet today, kind of looking at what's in there.
Yeah.
And it looks like the loophole for backdoor Roths and mega backdoor Roths it's been eliminated. They're not going to be able to do it.
Really?
Hold on.
Oh, I saw did not
your
hear
note.
That.
I saw your question, and so I did some research. Now, I cannot find the entire text of the bill to search through yet, but
Okay.
Every
What makes you
resource
think they're
I
gone?
looked at said that they were still in effect for 2025, that there may be some changes in 2026.
Well, they have to be for 2025. I've already done
But
mine.
nobody can give me no resource could give me the changes. All I got was uncertain.
Let's hear his source.
Yeah.
What's your source, Mark?
Oh, I mean, just on the internet, I've seen a couple different ones, and it says starting in 2026. So you can do them through December 31st.
I can find no reputable source. None.
Okay, so I'm not the expert, so I'm just
so
I've
for
seen it on a
now
couple different,
until Obubba is actually in a readable form somewhere, because I guess the president didn't sign it yesterday.
Oh, I thought he did.
I don't think he
I saw
did.
a picture of him signing something.
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't
it was just
know.
his autograph or something else.
I'm trying to find where he signed it, but
it will be signed. I think we can count on that.
Yeah, we'll do some more research on that when the bill is actually available.
We'll talk about it more in the days to come too.
It'll be in the future, because the one thing about I don't know if it's beautiful. It is a bill, but the one thing about it that's absolutely certain is that it's big. It's a lot of pages.
Yeah, so there's a lot to go through. Yeah.
We'll check.
Yeah, I know. So, it's like over 900 pages. But that one just kind of threw me for a loop. I didn't.
I don't see it anywhere.
It was more, tax rate oriented. Yeah. So, all right. So, like I say, I'm not the expert. We'll see as more.
We're hoping you were a member of the U.S. Senate or something to set us straight, but I guess not.
Yeah, I'll keep watching for a copy of the bill, and then I can run some summaries on it and see. I'm not reading the whole darn thing. I'm telling you, I'm not.
Well, hopefully the we won't get into conversions, but it sounds like it's just mega backdoor and backdoor. So.
Wow. Well, that would be a change.
All right, that's all I got.
It surprises me that it hasn't happened already. 855-935-TALK. That's the phone number. That's not all you've got, we hope. So give us a call, because we want to try and answer your questions. If we know the answer, we'll be back.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hi, Don McDonald here. So, what's your plan for retirement? No, really. What's the actual plan? Because hoping the market goes up, stockpiling random investments, and praying your gut instincts are smarter than Wall Street is not a plan. It's a guess. And when the market gets bumpy, and it always does, guessing leads to second guessing. And second guessing leads to panicking. That's why you need more than a portfolio. You need a purpose, a strategy, a real financial plan built just for you by a 100% fiduciary advisor who's legally obligated to act in your best interest. Imagine that. Start your plan today with a free, no-pressure meeting at talkingrealmoney.com or call 800-386-3004. That's talkingrealmoney.com, because your future deserves more than crossed fingers and wishful thinking. By the way, no sales pitch, no obligation, just smart help for real people who want to stop guessing and start planning. Appella is an SEC-registered investment advisor. See AppellaWealth.com or the firm's Form ADV for more details.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
I finally found the full text of the bill, all 900 and some odd pages.
So if you're getting trouble going to sleep tonight, you got something to take care of you.
See, my buddy ChatGPT is really good at reading things. So I sent the website to Chat, and I said, see if you can find any mention of backdoor Roth IRAs in this bill.
And before you get into it, let's make sure people know what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is a way to contribute to a Roth IRA if your income level is too high.
Correct.
You've been able to do the backdoor. You've been able to put it in an IRA and then immediately.
IRA and then immediately put it over into a Roth IRA.
One of those neat little tricks.
And this says that H.R. 1, which is the bill, as drafted, does not address backdoor Roth IRAs.
Okay, well, but it didn't read it, or it did read it?
It did read it. It read the whole thing.
See. And it didn't find it.
They can read faster than we can.
Really? Well, that's not saying a whole lot for me. But
ChatGPT read over 900 pages during that break.
Wow. You know what? As I said to somebody the other day, I'm glad I'm old.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm not fighting with this. Somebody else. Good luck.
the
That's
stuff
crazy.
I'm not even going to tell you some of the stuff that's it's able to do that would put me out of work because I don't want anyone to know. I think.
By the way, can I ask you a personal question? Because I just saw this the other day.
I guess
About being old.
Well, as long as it's not too.
I saw a headline the other day that said 2 elderly tourists were killed in Zambia by an elephant.
Yeah. How
and I was
old
like,
were
well,
they?
well, I'm getting to that in a minute.
Oh,
I was like, well, I read the story, which I normally wouldn't because I'd just been close to there last year with elephants, right? I was like, oh, that's kind of
right. Except you
and
stayed
then
in
it said,
your buttled
yeah,
accommodation.
I didn't get out of the truck either, but apparently they did. But at any rate, one was 68, the other was 67. So then I got kind of mad. I was like, well,
that makes us
not
elderly, doesn't it?
Well, so I looked it up. You know what the definition of elderly is? According to the U.S. government?
65.
Yeah.
65.
Right. I was like, oh, God. Okay.
Oh, it's like the guy in Romania. That was another bright one. Did you hear about him?
No.
He was out in the backwoods, and I didn't know they had backwoods in Romania, but apparently they do. Yeah. And a big old Romanian bear was sauntering down the path, and he went up to take a selfie with it.
I'm sorry.
What do you think happened?
Didn't turn out well. How many arms did he have left afterwards?
Well, he had no life left afterward.
Yeah, okay. We shouldn't be laughing. But
yes,
still,
we should.
Can't help
called natural selection.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
855-935-TALK is our phone number. 855-935-8255. You're right, it's not funny, but I'm still laughing. Let's go to Chicago, the Windy City. Mary, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be talking with you both.
It's our pleasure, absolutely. What can we do for you?
Well, first of all, my condolences to Tom. And my mother passed away last month, and the man who was handling her finances has proposed to us beneficiaries ways to reduce our tax burden on the inheritance.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. There shouldn't be any tax burden on your inheritance unless it was larger than 15 million or whatever the number is.
Anyway.
No, the federal exemption's only 8, I guess, today. It's going to 15.
I want to hear what the pitch, that's going to tell me everything. So the executor of the estate is saying, I've got some strategies that can help you avoid taxes.
Not the executor, the financial person.
It's the financial person. It's not the executor, because you said the person handling the estate.
No, she said the person who's her advisor.
Oh. Yeah. What are they suggesting?
Yeah.
Well, there are taxes to be paid because of annuities that my mother owned. Mm-hmm. And when you take away the cost basis, there obviously will be taxes that need to be accounted for. And if I were to take a lump sum, it would put me in the IRMA tax brackets that I would only have to pay for 1 calendar year, this additional penalty. But
okay, I know what the pitch is now. I know what the pitch is now.
I know what it is.
The pitch is for a 1035 exchange into another annuity, right?
Yes.
How did I know that? Well,
that was easy.
You see, this is called. We call this in some circles, cutting off your nose to spite your little tax face. I just despise these. Is this your advisor? Your financial advisor? Really?
Not mine, but it's my mother's, and she's had them for quite some time. Yeah. And there are 3 different products. So I'm trying to decide, should I move some into either a MIGA or a fixed index annuity to avoid the IRMA surcharge, or should I just take the lump sum, bite the bullet, and pay the IRMA surcharge.
So
for
this
a
was
year.
this was in a qualified. I mean, I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding. So this is like an IRA,
non-qualified.
non-qualified.
Yeah,
So
No, the
this is outside
IRA
of an
is
IRA.
Very, very
Okay.
small.
Okay.
And the IRA is very small. I'm just
Yeah.
going to move it to my Vanguard
Okay.
and take
Okay.
that out over the 10-year period.
How much money are we talking about? Round figures.
About 115,000.
Not even worth. It's you're going to get
No.
you're going to get a tax hit this year. That's it.
2025. Yeah, for the
And
for,
then it'll
for
go
going above
away.
the note.
And your IRMA will go away later. So it's
No reason to roll that
it's
into
not
a new
big
annuity.
enough hit.
No.
It's not a big enough hit to make this expensive transaction worthwhile. Because the reason the insurance guy is doing this is because it's going to generate for him another commission.
At $100,000, probably 8,000. I mean, who knows? Whatever it is. So
Yeah, probably. I would just I would just
Put
bite
me
the bullet.
in the second IRMA bracket.
What's your
So that would be
how much?
It says that for more than 133,000, but less than 167,000, the Part B premium is 370 plus the prescription drug coverage premium is another 35.
Are you single?
So it's a little over 400. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
so
a
you're
widow.
talking about $5,000 on 100. I'm with Don. I'd bite the bullet, pay the additional premium, and get my money.
Yeah, because your income's going to go back down next year.
Yes, it will.
So that's only going to be for a year that you're going to be paying that IRMA premium, and then you're going to go back down. Again, I just kind of feel like unless this is money that you're just going to leave there forever and let the next generation deal with it, to enable me to have the money without it being tied up in some expensive surrender-charged annuity, I would bite the bullet always, 100% of the time. If I was going to use the money. If the money's going to generation skip, then, yeah, I guess who cares? Make the broker a nice big fat commission. But given that it's a temporary thing, it's not going to be, that IRMA premium's not going to be forever, I would probably just pay it out of the annuity.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. IRMA's one of these things that I think we get, because remember, it is only a calendar year at a time, and it's based, they look back 2 years prior.
That's right. Yeah.
So
people feel like it's one of those things that people just will do almost anything to avoid. I run into this a lot.
Even if it means more, you spend more money to avoid it.
That's right. I just don't want to pay that. I'm not paying that extra fill in the blank, $400. Yeah. Very painful for many.
So your premium would automatically drop back down the following year. Just automatically it's going to drop right back down. I would not get stressed about it, but because I know the motivation of the person you're talking with, because your mom bought annuities from this annuity salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
So he's an annuity salesperson. That's what he does.
No, he's a financial educator teaching at a local university.
And he's a part of Retirement Planning University, a not real university.
Not accredited.
Not accredited. Not even.
No actual degree will be awarded.
But the problem, my worry is that the state of Florida, there's no chance the state of Florida is going to go after him, even though it's illegal what they're doing. And the state of Washington, it's not illegal enough. Darn it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like,
is it worth it?
okay.
And this is a question we do get a lot, and I get it a lot off the air, is, well, if this thing is so bad, and why is it allowed? Why are they allowed to say these things? Because there's
a lot of stuff that's worse, I guess, that they spend their time on.
Exactly. And it's because there's so much of it. And there are only a very limited number of people whose job it is to investigate this type of behavior. They're so limited that most of it, well, it's the perfect example is tax fraud. Very few people get audited every year.
And fewer every year.
And fewer every year. So the disincentive of an audit has kind of gone away, and so that encourages more cheating. Oh, I'm not going to get caught. That's a human nature thing.
Yep.
We are not as good as we'd like to think we are. And the proof is in the financial services industry.
It's been a fun hour. At university, I lost my mother-in-law.
Well, that wasn't the fun part.
I know. I'm just throwing it all out there.
Tom, I'm
just move on to something a little happier.
Yeah. Well, please, again, the moral of our story is these mailers, 99.9999999% of them
are all the same.
Good for you. They're not good for you.
They always pitch an education. They always pitch like you're going to come and you're going to walk out the door and know exactly what to do.
Right. And there is no education.
And the good news is you get to meet with someone privately, one-on-one, work hours, and you'll get things straightened out.
It's funny. I have a little bit of time. We have a nonprofit foundation here in my community, and they teach classes for seniors. They call it lifelong learning. And when it started, I taught a class on investing and money.
Stetson, right?
Well, it was at Stetson. It was at the Stetson facility. I taught this class, and I taught a legit class. And then I stopped because it was a lot of work. And the next guy who came in and taught it was a stockbroker with Morgan Stanley.
Oh, God's sakes.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want some help, go to talkingrealmoney.com, click on the button that says Meet an Advisor. Or if you want to ask questions, just do it there.
The opinions and views expressed in this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions.
Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy.
Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Apella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Apella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor.
Please see Apella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Apella's fees and services.
Apella Capital, LLC, DBA Apella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Apella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. I think I need a nap.